This is where the ancient cities and medieval civilizations emerged and disappeared. This is the cradle of great ideas, a place where science and arts prospered, the crossroads of trade and the boldest ideas. What is Central Asia like today? What do the countries in the region have in common? What is the cultural and genetic code of the peoples living in this part of the world? Stay tuned with Central Asian Guide to find out. Kazakh leather art. Uzbekistan's artisans restore Urgut traditions. Home Museum of Embroidery. The life of the heirs of the great nomadic civilizations was associated with domestic animals. Cattle breeding was the basis of the economy of nomads, besides the military art and the opportunities that it proved to advance communities at that time. The breeding of hardy steppe horses, camels, large and small cattle helped people living in a zone of risky farming with a rather harsh climate stay alive. There were large pastures, but very few forests. Therefore, people developed handicrafts and applied arts using materials that livestock ensured, skins and bones. Young Kostanay artisan Aydin Dikhanbay is one of those who has preserved the ancient traditions of the Kazakh steppes. He's the holder of many awards and participant of Republican exhibitions. After morning walk, sometimes I go to this coffee shop. This is my favorite place in the city center. It is cozy and quiet. I can sit here and think about future work. This is exactly what I need. It's time for me to go to the workshop. Come with me. So here we are. My workshop is on the second floor. In the ancient times, Kazakhs made leather vessels for kumis from calf skin called torsek. People processed and salted it, and then sewed steppe dishes. When manufacturing torsek, we do not use a sewing machine. In ancient times, they were sewn with a special awl. The vessels were durable and did not leak the liquid. I want to show a small masterclass on making a whip, kamsha. I will make a handle for almost finished kamsha. This whip is a secret item for Kazakhs. It hangs in every house in the most prominent place. Then everyone who comes into the house will know that its owner lives here. If the family had 3 sons, then 3 kamshi hung on the honorable place. If a girl was born in the family, then the whip was decorated with different semi-precious stones. The stick of kamshi is traditionally made from the speria, a tree with very strong wood. We need rawhide leather of cattle. Here is a ready-made leather. From it, we make 8 strips for weaving. Nails are not used while making a whip. We make knots of rawhide, so we are almost done. The length of the handle is 5 tatams. Tatam is a measure of length approximately equal to the width of the palm.
көрдіңіздер.
We finished the weaving. Now kamshi is ready.
Барлығы дайын. Қай өңірде, Қазақстанның қай өңірде?
I use different literature in my work. From books, I learn many useful things. For example, about varieties of whip, features of their manufacture in different regions. Oh, Yegor, how are you? Fine. Much work to be done. Yes. Do you work? This is my friend. We met Yegor during the expo in Astana.
10 күн бойы сол экспо көрмесінің өтуіне бір үлесімізді қосқан болатынбыз.
Aydin and a young sculptor became friends. Aydin was impressed that he's always full of creative ideas. This is Samat, our Kostanay actor. He lives in Almaty now. Samat posed and created a sculpture. Now I make a series of busts of famous people of Kostanay. Will you help me with the ornament? If you want to draw an ornament, I think here's just an ornament like this.
Мне кажется, вот так. Вот такой орнамент вообще шикарный. Примерно вот так. 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 Осылай.
So let's try to make an ornament as suggested by Aydin. I think it will be compositionally right. Let's see it in the process. He's very promising, good and talented. We're working together. Of course, he works with skin, as I'm engaged in sculpture. My father is a member of the Union of Sculptors. The elder brother is a sculptor too. When a person poses, his inner condition is revealed at once. So why not make a series of busts? In the future, I plan to make the series in full growth sculptures, 30 or 40 works. Here are our models from the Kostanay region. In general, we have beautiful and very talented people in Kostanay. Why not show them? We deal not only with sculpture, we also teach both children and adults. Let me show you. I'll have a tour. Students are studying here. They are drawing paintings. Here are the drawings of all our students. This is a large room. I plan to bring all artists together here. I want to draw attention to this. This is a tall thinker. We found it in our village in Michurino. Archaeologists date it to 3,000 years before our era. Now the original is in Astana, in the Presidential Museum. I made a 2-meter copy with my colleague Vlad Galbin last year. Now it stands in the courtyard. Here's the 2-meter tall thinker, an enlarged copy of that little one. The only thing we added is the rock carvings to demonstrate exactly that time, because many people do not know what kind of figure it is. We also added a fingerprint here so that people will be able to make a wish. Aydin, see you tomorrow. Bye. See you. Bye. Despite the youth, scientists and local historians know the Kazakh craftsman. His works are already exhibited in the regional museum. Since I'm engaged in folk art, I cooperate with the local history museum. Now I'm going there. Will you join me? Aydin, hello. How are you, Nazgul? Glad to see you. This is Nazgul, a staff member of the museum.
Aydin, біздің ата-бабамыздан қалған
Aydin adequately continues the work of our ancestors. In ancient times, leather torsiks were used to store and transport kumis, shubat, or just water.
көшіп жүргенде, сондай-ақ жауынгерлерге сусын ретінде беріп, сол торсықта сақтаған.
He learned the secrets of mastery from his father, Malik Dihanbay, and the brightest childhood memories are associated with him.
Қыстан соғымнан қалған жиналған терілер ғой, қыс кезінде.
In winter, after the slaughter, the skins were stored in a shed. With the advent of spring, they began to smell foul. I remember how my father said, Aydin, come here, stop wasting time on children's games, get busy. And made me clean the skin and salt it. Honestly, my father was very strict. I remember that. All neighbors knew that I was making skin because the stench was all over this district. They clamped their noses and kept asking when I would finish the treatment. Of course, it used to happen when I did not obey my father, then he punished me, but not too strictly. And I'm very grateful to him because he managed to cultivate diligence in me and taught me this art. What I achieved today, all this is the merit of my father. Our compatriot made this torsik. This is an example of the transfer of true skill from father to son. There are a variety of forms of similar products made of leather. For example, Jan torsik, Moyes torsik. Aydin makes vessels in the form of traditional Kazakh ornament. Some people ask me what torsiks are made from when they see my torsiks. They do not believe. They say that I probably made them from a tree. In such moments, it becomes very insulting. After all, only that state is strong, and that people are invincible, whose youth knows the customs of their country and honors its history.
Мысалға, өгіздің, түйенің терілерінен талқы дейді. Біздің қазақ халқы аяқ киім тіккен.
Kazakhs have long been able to process the skin of animals, from which later they made various household items. For example, shoes were sewn from bovine and camel skin. People used horses' skin to sew overcoats. To finish the skin of fox, rabbit, wolf, or Corsac, Kazakhs used sour milk, household soap, or rainwater. Because there are no chemicals in them. Therefore, handmade leather is valued much more than tanned leather. As a true Jigit, Dikhanbay practiced martial arts in his youth and still does not lose touch with the sports mentors, who in turn support the young men in every possible way. After all, he's an heir of the culture of the Kazakh people. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum assalam. How are you? No wonder they say that every Kazakh was engaged in wrestling. This is Nurjan Yermagambetov, my wrestling coach. Aydin, thank you for your work. You used yogurt when dressing the skins, did you not? Great job. I'm grateful to you for continuing the traditions of our ancestors. You help us greatly, presenting your work to domestic and foreign athletes. I think that such people will preserve the culture of our people. He won't only preserve it, but also will pass it on to the next generations. Accordingly, in the future, his students will follow him. Once I was fortunate that he became my pupil. I taught him to fight the Kazakh Kurasi national wrestling. In the future, Aydin wants to devote his life to livestock, and at the farm, in the open steppe near the river and birch grove, open the center of folk craftsmen and a shop for the manufacture of skins, thereby creating a chain of non-waste production. And, of course, he would like to open an exhibition hall or a museum with the works of Kazakh craftsmen, among which perhaps will be the work of his students. Not far from Samarkand, in the vicinity of the town of Urgut, there is a village of Gus, which many connoisseurs call the center of Uzbek embroidery, Suzani. It has preserved traditions that almost disappeared in other regions. At the same time, local Urgut design was influenced not only by the Samarkand style and Tajik motifs, but also by the pictorial techniques of the steppe nomads living nearby. In the samples of embroidery, one can notice both motifs of mosaic and background patterns, as well as solar signs. All this depicted in the flaming paints of the supremacist compositions of the master from the famous village of Gus. The guests came. Hello, my dear. How did you get there? I'm Mavluda Hamdamova, and these are embroideries of Suzani, which we made with daughters-in-law. What a beautiful coloring, isn't it? I enjoy their beauty. Here, take a look. The patterns of these Suzanis are very sophisticated. This is Darat Nuska, a pattern in the form of trees, and this is Kuesh Nuska, a symbol of the sun. All these elements are taken from nature. As you can see, it's very sunny here. I live in one of the most beautiful places in the highlands of Uzbekistan. This is our yard. You see how wonderful it is here. What a stunning nature. From here you can see wonderful views. In the distance you can see mountains. Any person gets pleasure from such a view. You can just enjoy the scenery. Here we have a vineyard. We all work in this garden. Thanks to our works, we always get a good harvest. And here you can see a piece of our national life. In the clay over thunder, we bake cakes. And here's the cauldron called kazan and fireplace. In kazan, we cook pilaf and other national dishes. The family of the craftswoman likes to gather on the veranda for a morning or evening tea party. At such moments, consent and humor reign over the table. And this is my girl. Come here. Oh, sweetie. My granddaughter. A beauty. Come here. Help yourself, please. This is my husband, our granddaughter, and our grandson. Help yourself, please. Don't be shy. These are my daughters-in-law. We work together, and in breaks, we sit down at the table and talk about everything in the world, drinking the tea. These are all my grandchildren, daughters-in-laws. We live as one big friendly family. Drink tea. It's so nice to drink tea in the fresh air, and now I'll call my girls to get to work. Here, my daughters-in-law and granddaughters sit and sew. Our embroidery is one of the most beautiful in Uzbekistan. Girls recreate ancient examples of folk art. They all have different styles and colors. Each decor is different, but all are beautiful. I put a particle in my heart in each restored sample and work. And now the girls try to embroider in the best way. This pattern is called Tokcha Posha. Look, what a beauty. This is a unique style. Here's the image of the circle, symbolizing the sun. Sweetie, look carefully. You too will study this skill. Did you see how beautiful it is? If you want, you will also become an embroiderer. This pattern is called Kalampir Nuska. We also call it Samasa Nuska, which depicts the moon. This is also beautiful. I drew it myself. I tried with all my heart. All of them are unique. They do not repeat each other. Everything comes from nature. My granddaughter is also embroidering. Look, what a beauty. What a peculiar style. The patterns are embroidered symmetrically on all sides. The colors are very bright. Now this one is also interesting. It is almost done. The pattern is also unique. Let's look at the chapan. Admire the patterns. First we draw them by hand and then embroider. All this is manual labor. See how it is sewn. The front parts are ready, and this side too. Now it remains only to finish the sleeves, on which just now my needlewoman is working. See how charming it is. This is the traditional coloring. And now look here, all these are natural images, images of animals, and they are very thinly embroidered on silk. The one above is called Zardivor. This embroidery is Kata Suzani. And this one is called Kirpich. All of them are wonderful. These are our works on silk. And here's an image from nature, drawings of birds. This is great. This is called Nuska. I painted it myself. Here are the teapots. They symbolize the hospitality of the Uzbek people. Everything that you saw is the result not only of my work, but of all my daughters-in-law, grandchildren, matchmakers, neighbors. This is our common work. Mavluda Hamdamova began sewing after her marriage. Although she worked as a teacher all her life, like her husband, she always aspired to embroidery. Over time, this became a family business in which she managed to involve not only her children and the daughters-in-law, but also fellow villagers. Following the ancient tradition, they create original embroideries based on Samarkand, Surhandarya, Kashgardarya patterns, and Tajik ornaments. Here are all my works, created from my youth to today. My Suzani, all this is my work, and also the work of my father and mother. There are special samples. My mother did these works. She's my teacher, my dear. She embroidered them with her own hands, and I will always cherish them. Dear, let's show the second museum. Let them admire our works. We collected all things here. You can see them. Here we have old lamps. And this is the traditional decoration of the house. Here's a sample of traditional Urgut embroidery. Here are beautiful women's jewelry. These are wall decorations for newlyweds. Here are the pendants made of silver. Relatives gave these things to the bride at the wedding. This is a woman's headdress. In Uzbek it is called kulocha. Mavluda prepares sketches for future panels or chapans and then distributes them to neighbors along with fabrics and threads so that they can embroider at home and earn some money. Good afternoon. Did you finish the embroidery? Yes, I came to take the workpiece. 1 second. I already prepared sketches for you. See how beautiful the embroidery will be. I drew sketches of Davranushka. Here I marked the lines where threads should be embroidered. Inside the pattern, there should be yellow and, from this side, green. You'll start from here, you see? Yes. Then you shall continue here. We need brown threads. Where are they? Here they are. I wrote here, brown. Yes, I see that. Then I have another yellow thread, look. You will add it here, so I wrote yellow. You use this thread, and here you need a black one. Then you will embroider flowers and the sun. You will need yellow, green, and blue, right here. You understand? So how many colors do we use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 different threads. You will use them all? The sooner you finish it, the better. Well, thank you. Come back again. Bring other works. Now I make drawings from calico. They're called tokchapushcha. I draw a pattern named Islimi. This cup is called kosacha. It will be very beautiful. Since my youth, I learned to embroider from my mother and I studied drawing. Mom herself painted and embroidered. Now I can say that the art is inherited from my mother. It is very important for me, and I know all the secrets of this craft. I really like to convey the beauty of nature in my embroideries, and I also use ancient patterns. But most importantly, it's your own imagination. A person needs inspiration for drawing. No one can do this all the time. Only when I have a good mood, I sit down and create these patterns, these drawings. I see what color is more suitable. And after that, I take up drawing. Then it turns out well, but of course, it takes time and patience. There are different types of joints. For example, the correct stitch, zigzag, or stitch with an awl. I am now doing the right seam. That is how it looks. So it's not an easy job, but it's so marvelous. When I feel uncomfortable, I also get engaged in the embroidery, and it becomes easier. I learned everything in childhood from my mother. When I was studying, I was very curious, and it helped me to learn all the subtleties of the craft. I have learned to work from a young age. Today's achievements are the results of many years of work. For me, my mother is a prime example. I am so grateful to her. Well, that is my embroidery. It turned out as I wanted. Very beautiful. I finished it. I really liked it very much. Such embroidery is called Tokcha Pushcha. Two moons are depicted here, and the patterns are called Kalam Pernuska. My embroidery is ready. Do you like it? Yes, it's wonderful. Really, of course. Show yours if it's ready. Oh, it turned out very beautiful too. Check this out. Did you finish this pattern? It's wonderful. Keep sewing. It turns out very well, and I'm sweeping the edges of the embroidery on the sewing machine. The embroiderer's family has 4 children and 15 grandchildren. Daughters-in-law got acquainted with the ancient art as soon as they entered the house of the Hamdamas. And now, even granddaughters are asked to give them a needle in their hands and imitate the elders with pleasure. I learned to embroider in this family. I was taught by my mother-in-law. Before marriage, at home, we did not do it. I try to make my embroidery look as charming as my mother's-in-law's. She taught me all the secrets of the craft. This is my daughter. Every time when I sew, she's looking at me and studying. As soon as I sit down to embroider, she sits next to me and asks, "Mom, teach me to embroider," and takes a needle and tries to sew. She's 3 years old, and she really likes to sew. Come on, daughter, embroider together. Sit next to me. Take your embroidery and go on. So she always sits with me and embroiders. Hold the needle tight. Do not pull. And now stick the needle like that. Orzu has put on a bride's dress. Do not get distracted when you sew. I also want to embroider. Oh, my little one, how sweet you are, dear. You are so beautiful today. She looks like a bride. Well then, come on and bow to the guests, like a real bride. Come on. Get up on your feet and bow. Well done. Now I have more than 50 students. Many of them start to work independently after school, opening their own workshops. I'm glad that my daughters-in-law and my students continue my art.